Hello, my friends. Happy Tuesday. Sorry for the late notice today. I totally lost track of time, but I've got all of my Creativity Week emails and videos set to post for the rest of the week. If you've been joining me for Creativity Week, thank you. I hope you're getting some inspiration. We're only on day 2, so if you haven't joined us, feel free to let me know in the comments below and I can send you the link to join. Or you can just hop on my email list because that will work too. All right, my friends. So today, during Creativity Week, I hope the noise isn't too bad. I have the window open because it's warm in here and I have to keep the door closed because of the cat. So I hope that's not going to be too much. But today, I'm actually going to share a little bit about the SIPS formula, which is something I shared during Creativity Week today. So it's kind of like my little hack for scrapbooking a little bit quicker, or at least having a method for scrapbooking. It doesn't always make it faster for me, but most of the time it will, because it kind of creates a little process and a system. And anytime we can do something on a system, it makes it a little bit easier, right? So my SIPS formula stands for select, which is select and position your photos. I is identify and journal, so you're identifying the story and the journal, like the size of the journaling. And then we have P for pick and layer. Basically, I kind of use that as pretty paper. And then S is stamp and enhance. So that's my SIP formula. So there's just 4 quick steps to create a scrapbook page. And I kind of use it mostly with general, like 12 by 12 pages, or like traditional pages. That's the word I was looking for. Traditional pages. But I actually pulled out my Grease album. You guys, I've been working on this Grease album for so long. And actually, I think I've shared pages from this album on multiple occasions. Because it's just one that I want to get finished. But it is a pocket styled scrapbooking. Sorry, I got distracted for a minute. So it's a little bit different, but you can still use the same 4 step process for this. So I'm going to scrapbook 1 page here, and I will show you some of the others. And it's funny because I started doing this album in a different pattern and paper, and then I found a new one, and then I ended up having to change some of them because I found better paper. So let me switch this around and we'll chat a little bit about this. I'm actually going to even give you a little bit of a sneak peek of some of the other topics and techniques that we're going to talk about in Creativity Week later this week, but because I use that as a method too. So I'm going to work on this page here. So it's kind of a fun one. It's got a story, which tomorrow is our story first topic. So we'll talk a little bit about story, and you'll see me do that a little bit here. And then today's was the SIPS, right? So select and position. So I already selected the photo for this page and positioned it. And I typically do that for my pocket style scrapbooking. I tend to go through and actually add all the photos in advance. Like, that's my first step. I just put all the photos in place, and then I go back and I start doing the identify and the journal and the, pick the pattern paper, and then the stamp and enhance. So, I already selected and positioned my photo. So step 2 is to identify and journal. And so for this one, I know I have a little bit of journaling to do, because this story was, we took this selfie and said that she had to finish my swaps. That's what she's working on. That was her payment for going on the trip to Greece with me. This was a Stampin' Up! Incentive trip, so I earned it for free with Stampin' Up! And I get to take a guest, and she was my guest that year. And I had told her, I joked with her, that I was going to sit and have drinks while she finished my she finished my swaps. Oh my goodness, words are hard sometimes. So what I want to do is kind of write that story down really quick. So that's part 2, right? So you're going to select and position, identify, and journal. So I'm going to go ahead and journal these little topics. And I think I actually have some white paper here. Let me see if I actually have, and I might, well, I do have a piece that I could just kind of attach. Let me do this. So I like to journal before I tape it down, right? Because you don't want to have to So I'm gonna kind of position this so that, okay, it's about there. So I'm going to take this, I'm just going to tack it down a little bit here, and that's not sticking. Hold on, come on. Oh my goodness. If you haven't, why is this not working? If you haven't scrapbooked before, this is a great way to get started. I'll fix that in a second. I just want one hand at the moment because I don't want to move this. So I'm just going to tack it down a little bit so that it will stay put. Okay. I kind of moved it, so hopefully it's still right. This is a great way to start scrapbooking. If you've never scrapbooked before, the pocket style scrapbook is a great way to start. And I actually will do that often for people that are new to like having babies or what bridal gifts, bridal shower gifts. Those are really great. So I recently ordered some of the new journaling pens. So I was a little confused because in the catalog they say it's $10 and I thought it was one, but it's actually 3. So you get 3 of the 0.4 journaling pens, which is nice because then you have a couple. Hi, Donna. So now, and typically I would write this in pencil probably, or write it out on scrap paper first, but I'm going to be super brave today and go ahead and write this out. So, let me think for 1 second. We're going to do, keep that even. And I'm lucky that I kind of have good handwriting, so I will often write mine out instead of printing it, but you could print it as well. Hopefully you can read this too. Get the background noise, yeah. Hopefully this all fits. I made her fussy cut. There we go. Perfect. So there we have the journaling. So I do have a little bit of extra space, so that's going to come into play once I get to the point, which I am, of picking the pattern paper. And so this is going to fit in here. It's not really glued very well, but that's fine because I will glue it once I'm ready. Okay, so that's going to go there. Now, step 3 is to pick and layer, I think is what it is. But I just kind of think of step 3 as pretty paper, right? So I actually have this Mediterranean suite still. So this is kind of a sneak peek of later in the week. I tend to stick to a suite or collection when I'm scrapbooking, especially trips. Like I keep it all the same. So I use the same materials. The pages are all different, but I use the same materials. In like my everyday albums, I'll just use whatever I think is best for the photos. But because this is a trip album, you can see I've already started it and I've used this paper line. So I'm going to continue with that. And I just jumped to this one because I knew there was a good enough story for me to write enough on this. So now I'm just going to pick some paper to go along with this. So I don't have a picture for down here. So I'm going to pick like a bold pattern for that. So one that's really going to, maybe like this, because it's really going to kind of take up space and not really require me to do much to it. I think that's going to be the winner. If I wanted to like do some other things to it, then I would make it a little less, like if I wanted to put some photos on it or something like that, then I would make it a little less in your face kind of thing, something a little subtler. So I'm just going to cut this 4x6, and then this is going to get stuck right in here. Okay, so that's going to go there, and I'm probably going to doctor that up a little bit too. All right, so we have that, right? Okay, and then I want to kind of fill in a little bit of this too. So let me fix my adhesive because I don't know what was going on with that. Let's see. It does not seem to be rolling. There we go. Oh, it's off to the side here, which sometimes happens. So I just pulled it back. Okay, that was my problem. All right, so let's go ahead and attach this. And if I can get it out of here again, let me move this. So we're gonna just kind of attach that here. And now that's a really good position because I know that this was like right up against the photo. So I know that's a good position. Okay, so we tape that down. And then I'm gonna use some of this other pattern paper, probably something a little less busy. I'm thinking maybe like this. And I'll do some like decorative elements here. So this is probably about, yeah, you can do like 1 1/8 maybe. Let's do this. And so here's, I'm kind of, sometimes we'll incorporate both step 3 and 4 at the same time. So I'm doing pretty paper, but I'm also thinking about what I want to do to make it, I don't want to cover too much of that, so I actually might not do much. I was going to think about maybe doing a banner piece here, just to add some interest too, but I'm actually going to keep it pretty simple because I don't want to cover the swaps that she's showing off there. So just do this. I'm going to put this right along the edge to fill in some of that space, and then we'll trim this off. Okay, like that. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Now I do have the coordinating stamp set as well. So I have the stamp set and I have the dies. So let's just see if there's anything here that might work for an accent, because now I'm kind of embellishing too. I kind of like the leaves, but again, I don't want to put them so that they're over this, so I might just leave it. I could do the little flowers, or maybe even do, let's see, I could do one little leaf like here to decorate it. Would be cute. I think the color in here is Mossy Meadow, so maybe I will cut some Mossy Meadow. I think I might actually use some of the lemon for the pattern paper that we picked. There isn't a smaller lemon, right? No, but I think there is actually lemon in the paper. So I'm going to cut this Mossy Meadow out. Oh, look, I have Mossy Meadow right here. So I'm going to cut a little leaf with my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. I love that I'm getting some of this done. And this is just it. This is one of the other things we talk about in Creativity Week this week. It's just that you don't need tons of time here, right? So I'm already past my 15 minutes. But even if I was just to get started, you know, I'm also talking and crafting at the same time, so that takes me a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and just attach this to the page. Okay, oops. Let that sit for a minute. And I'm going to look through the paper because I'm pretty sure it has paper that has smaller lemons on it. Let's see. Because I'm looking, I want to put something else right there. Yeah, so see, this one has some smaller lemons. So maybe, is there one that's kind of, no, that's this paper. Oh, no, that's oranges. Or maybe I could do orange. We could do oranges. Is any of these like a full orange? Let's see. Let me look here. These are a little big for my leaf. I want the smaller ones. Like this. Let's just see. Even a cluster will work. So maybe this one here. It's just got the green in it too, so, and it's not full. That was what I was really more worried about. you know what? I might do this one, I think, here. So I'm gonna fussy cut this. So we're gonna just cut right around the lemon. I know I'm cutting off some of the flower, but I'm okay with that. I'm gonna cut this right here. We'll cut this leaf as well. The whole key with this is, you know, you're getting it started, right? So even if I had to go and do something else right now, at least I got a good start, like, and I could come back and finish when I had more time. And it's almost like writing too. So I've been a writer most of my career. I was in PR and I was a reporter, so I am used to writing. And so when we would write, sometimes like you'd get pulled away or you just wouldn't be feeling it, right? So sometimes I would actually do better if I got started on a story and then like kind of stopped it in the middle where I knew where I was going, because then when I came back I didn't have to like face that mountainous like blank page and figure out a concept or you know, figure out what the story was going to be. I could just like dive right in because I was already in the middle of it. So it's kind of like this too, right? Like, so I'm like, oh, I've kind of already started this. I can just run with it now. So, I might have to trim this guy down a little bit because he's too big. So I'm going to snip off a little bit of this too. Okay. And see if now it fits in there. There we go. That's better. So we can kind of just stick that there. And I'm just going to do it flat because that's what I got. And again, like, none of this has to be perfection, right? Not every piece we do is going to be a masterpiece. So, all right. So I have that, and I think that's probably good. I probably should have started up a little further. I could do like a little, like strip up here or something too. But I think I'll just leave it as is. What I might do is embellish with some gems or something at the top there. I think the gems I was using in this one are actually retired. And I don't know that I can get any more, so that's a bummer. All right, so this one, I was thinking I would do like an orange, but since I have that, I'm gonna actually just do sort of a strip here. Maybe this one again. I'm gonna make like a banner strip here. Here, oh, nope, it's not big. Like this, maybe. Yeah, we'll use the same pattern paper to pull it together. I'm just gonna do like an inch. Maybe, we'll do 1.25 inches. Okay. And then we will, that's gonna go here. I might make it a little bit shorter. And then I think I'm going to do a banner end as well. Or you could cut it on an angle if you wanted. All right. Like this. Okay. So now I could do like a little title, or maybe I do a bigger lemon cluster. Let's see, what do I have for paper over here? There we go. This one. And then I could do like a little stamp sentiment across it. So let me cut this really fast. I could stamp something too, but since I already have the lemons on here, I'm going to stick with the lemon theme. The stamp set has more like oranges, which, I mean, I could color them yellow. There's no rules, right? We can make them look like whatever we want them to. Okay. cutting really fast here because I'm way over my 15-minute allotment here. But I am cutting down time because I'm fussy cutting instead of stamping and coloring. So that would take me longer, I think. Although it might be the same. Alright. So I'm just going to cut this. I'm not doing a fantastic job at cutting, but it will be fine. Typically I use like a little bit of a outer edge, like a border when I fussy cut, but because like this has so many overlapping things, that doesn't work as well. I was gonna just cut this leaf off, but now I don't think I want to, so we'll cut it carefully. Let me cut this side first. Alright, so we're just cutting. Oops, sorry, I'm kind of off the screen, sorry. Cut this. And you can notice that I'm just moving my paper, not really moving the scissors. And you do really want like a short tipped, sharp scissor for this. Not like the really long ones, or I'm not gonna get all in there right now. I don't know what they are doing next door, but it has been very loud the last couple of days. Alright. Hopefully you guys, I mean, I know you guys can hear the car noise, but I'm hoping you don't hear all that drilling and hammering and everything else they're doing over there. Alright, so now I'm gonna just take this and cut that. Okay. And almost done. Thanks for being patient with me. Sorry, it's like watching paint dry. This one I think I'm gonna pop up just for a little added interest. Alright, there we go. Not my best job, but I'm thinking like we can kind of do this. And that will be a little bit of a focal point. And what did I do with my, I thought I had, yeah, I do. Right here. Have some dimensionals to put on this one. I'm going to actually use the edge here for this. And then we can tape this down. And then I think it'll just be adding some sort of stamped sentiment or something. I don't know, should I do just checking in? Just checking in on how you're making out of my swaps, right? What else? You're the best kind of person. Kind of works, kind of tongue-in-cheek a little bit. I might actually pair this with, let me look at the Tags to Go stamp set. This one is really fun. Life's Detours Are Better with You is cute. Today Marks an Adventure. I don't know if any of those really work either. I wanted some like little skinny thing here. All the love. All of them sound kind of tongue-in-cheek, right? Yes, this is an older bundle, the Citrus Blooms. I don't know that it's still available, but you could probably still find it online. Oh, the pear bundle would be a good mix for this. This is just really, I kept this one because it worked so well with my Grease album. Alright, so I'm going to have to hunt through my stamps to find like a little sentiment here that I want to put. I'm thinking like just a little skinny one. And then I'm going to add some Wink Stella. And I think that would be like the end of this layout. I could add some little bit of embellishments of some sort. Like I said, the one I was using for the rest of the book, I think, oh, but you know what? The one I used on the rest of the book is the older style. It was the, so I can show you, like I used, when I had the other design, I was using this, which is even older, and I was using the copper rhinestones, which we don't have anymore. But did I use anything on here? Oh, I used, oh, the Mediterranean ones, which are still here. Let me find those. I do still have those. And I probably should order more before they retire, because I will probably not finish this album for many years. Where are they? I know I just used them recently. Maybe not. Oh, they're there. Okay. So these are really good because they match perfectly. So maybe we'll do some, let's do some of the blue ones. And you could skip this part if you don't like a lot of bulk in on your pages. So that would be good too. And like I said, I'm going to add probably some sort of sentiment there as well. But now I can kind of, so I did this page, right? So I had 15 minutes. I took a little bit longer because I was chatting and not had all my stuff handy. But now I can kind of coordinate this page with it. So I could do that in 15 minutes. And then maybe when I have another stash of time, I could come back and do this page, right? So you can kind of work through, and you can see, don't work necessarily chronologically. Like, I mean, I don't have to finish this page and then this page and this page. That's why I kind of lay all the photos out first, make sure I have everything. And then if I feel like, oh, I want to do this story today, then that's the story, that's the page I can work on. So I kind of work in different batches. And yes, I probably will redo these so that they match the grease, this stuff. But that's not typical. I very rarely do that, but I just fell in love with the grease paper when that came out a couple of years ago. So I did switch this one over. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys are following along on Creativity Week. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any tips or tricks, feel free to share. I would love to, I'd love to hear what things work for you and what your tips and tricks are too. So have a wonderful afternoon, and I hope to see you all really soon. All right, I'll see you all really soon. Bye for now.